What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mosen here, and I'm bringing you a video today that will explain to you how defense works in vanilla or classic World of Warcraft, and how you get crit immune and what the def cap is. So let's not waste more time, let's jump right into it. Let's go. Since we don't want to make a big long deal out of this, and it's actually not all that complicated, we're just gonna jump right into it, and I'm gonna keep it as short as possible. First of all, defense rating or defense skill is like a skill in your weapon skill character window, and it prevents physical damage taken by reducing the chance to be hit or to be crit. So a defensive player or a player with a lot of defense is less likely to be hit. He's likelier to dodge, or more likely to dodge, and he's more likely to parry and to block an attack, basically. Hence why this defense skill also increases the block chance, the dodge, and the parry. Give you a general rule of thumb: one defense increases the chance to be missed, dodge an attack, to parry, or to block by 0.04%. Okay, so that means 25 defense will give you 1% of avoidance each, basically. So 25 defense will increase your dodge by 1%, your parry rating by 1%, and your block rating by 1%, in case you can block and you're a better druid. On top of that, and here's the thing, it decreases the chance an enemy will crit you or can crit you by the same amount, 0.04%. Now, for every point that your defense exceeds the weapon skill of the attacker, and this is important. Now, this means that you gain 0.04% less chance to be crit for any level 60 mob, but for raid bosses it's a little bit different, and that's why we call it crit immunity or def cap, and we'll get into that in a second. Important to notice is that defense skill is a valuable stat before and after the crit cap has been achieved, or the def cap, or the crit immunity, however you want to call it. We'll get into that in a second. Because it will still continue to give you block rating or block chance, dodge chance, and parry chance, and it will still increase the chance to be missed. That is very important for later videos about, for example, crushing blows, which will also be up on this channel, explaining how crushing blows work, but this is important. So what is the def cap, or the crit immunity, or however you want to call it, that people always tell you to achieve? Now, the critical hit immunity for level 60 players against raid bosses depend on weapon skill and defense, like many things in vanilla WoW. Those things are very important. A critical strike deals double the damage to a player character, and that's what you really want to avoid first, because there's still crushing blows, which are 15% of the damage of the hit table of a boss that you cannot get rid of except for with avoidance, and so you want to get rid of the chance to be crit first. The TLDR version of this is you need 440 defense to be crit immune against raid bosses. So you need to gather 140 defense on gear, unless you have some talents that increase your defense skill, which you usually have. Now, if you're a little bit more curious and want to know why that is, here's why. A raid boss has a base crit chance of 5% versus player characters, and on top of any level it exceeds the player, it gains another 0.2%. It's 3, so because raid bosses count as a level 63, so a raid boss has a crit chance of 5.6% against a player. So that's what you need to get rid of, basically. You need to push this chance off the table. You do that by just dividing 5.6%, which is the crit chance of the raid boss, by 0.04, because that's the crit reduction you get from each point of defense. So you divide that and you will end up at 140 defense points you need to become crit immune against a raid boss. If the raid boss was one level higher, you would technically not be crit immune, you would need more defense to compensate for that, of course. So long story short, 1 defense point, you can memorize it as basically 0.04, less chance to be hit, less chance to be crit, block, parry, and dodge. And if you just remember this, you can always do the math and go with the weapon skill at defense level. Please remember that getting defense skill is very much your priority stat, but also it's going to be hard to get to the absolute crit cap early on in the game. So it is also very important to push the crushing blows off the table, which you can do with your abilities and your mitigation. So don't worry about if you are not quite there yet. I have not been crit immune for quite a while because the items just didn't allow it back in the day, and it still works out if you if you're pushing the crushing blows off the table. So the more defense you have, the better. It's your absolute priority stat with stamina probably, and you know. But if you can't reach the absolute crit cap, it's still fine. Don't let anyone tell you that it's your fault that you died there. Of course, if you're only equipping 40 defense, that's very bad. You should equip the maximum you can get if you're not sacrificing too much. If you want to know more on the crushing blows in Vanilla WoW, this is going to be the second video. You can find it on my channel as well. And that is a very important part too. It's basically the second part of this whole not dying thing for tanks. And if you're interested in that, I'm going to explain it in another video. For now, I hope this helped you understand the defense rating, and if you want to read up on it, I linked an article as well, but be careful, some of these articles are written for level 70 content. I hope this helped you, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like or sub maybe. Otherwise, I'm streaming a lot on Twitch, and I would hope to see you there. So, enjoy the tanking, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.